Yeah, Jerry, Kevin told us that he's not really sure what he's going to do at quarterback just yet. Said, it's probably going to be DTR and potentially Bailey Zappi. Just wondering what type of effect that might have on your preparations for Baltimore, considering it is a short week for you.
It's not gonna really have a big, too much effect on me. I'm gonna still keep doing what I need to do throughout the week, and prepare how I've been preparing all year, and just wait till game day and see how everything goes.
And following the game Sunday, you were pretty hard on yourself about a couple of plays you felt that you should have made. Just looking back on it, having to watch the film or whatever, do you feel that same way? And also, too, do you feel like you taking that accountability after that game kind of resonated a little bit, within the locker room, taking blame for something that maybe not necessarily was completely your fault?
I just think, me personally, I just think it's the truth. I think there was like three balls that I needed to catch. It was big play moments that would have helped my team be in a better position. So, me personally, I feel like that was just what it was and what it is.
All right, next one, Mary Kay.
Yeah, Jerry, what can you tell us about what you've seen so far in practice about Bailey? And I don't know if you've been able to catch too many passes from him because I know he's been running the scout team and stuff like that. But what do you think of him so far and what you think he might be able to do if he gets in the game?
He got a great arm. I know what he done in college. Broke all records. You know, um, I think I seen him play a little bit when he was at the Patriots. So he a great passer. Great reading the defense. Gonna be excited to see him out there get a little opportunity to play.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Jeff.
Hey, Jerry, I don't know if we'll get a chance to talk to you again since I won't be there Saturday, but how would you reflect on your first year here in Cleveland?
Uh, you know, uh, Bittersweet for real. The season ain't go how much I planned. Um, we will always want to win, always want to be able to go to the playoff. But unfortunately, that's not been a situation here. But overall, like, it's been a little frustrating not being able to win games how we want to. But I feel like there's gonna be better times ahead for sure.
But you personally, you first 1,000 yard season was a success for you personally.
Yeah, I mean, first 1,000 yard season. You know, ch very blessed. But yeah, don't really matter if you ain't win no games.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Cam.
Hey Jerry, kind of off of that, I asked you before if you still saw, the potential of what this team could do, and you said you did. I'm just wondering for you as you entered this last one of the season, looking ahead to 2025, what are some of the characteristics of this team that you feel good about, that you feel has potential moving forward?
Just the team. We just got a lot of dogs and a lot of fight. We got players in the locker room that's not gonna give up, no matter what the record is, no matter this the last game of the season. We still got a game opportunity this week to go out there and get a win. And I feel like everybody in the locker room have that mindset. And still gonna work hard throughout the week just to be able to come out there on Saturday and get that W.
Did it surprise you at all, through all the kind of adversity you guys faced, that you guys were able to band together? It didn't feel like things kind of crumbled in other ways that other places it might have.
Yeah, most teams, struggling the way we've been struggling this season. A lot of players probably give up and quit, but these not the guys we got in the locker room. We're gonna just keep finding, keep moving forward until we get to where we need to be at.
Thanks, Jerry.
Um,
Next we'll go to Tony.
Okay, Jerry, we know how frustrating this has been team-wise, but you're 6 receptions away from breaking the Browns' all-time record for catches in a season.
yeah.
That's got to be a goal at this point. What else is there, right?
Mm. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Now that you told me, I mean, if it happens, it happens. Fortunately, it happens with a win.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Um,
Next we'll go to Scott.
Hey Jerry, Sed was put on IR today, so it'll mean he misses the last 6 games with that concussion. What did you see of him before the injury, and I guess how disappointing that he wasn't able to build upon that over this last stretch of the year?
I know it's very disappointing for Sed, and especially for the offense. Sed's a big piece in the offense. Great playmaker, big physical receiver that could catch the ball in the middle of the field, um, uh, deep. He had a big 2 touchdown games that helped us win that game. I know it's pretty frustrating not having him out there, but his health is more important than anything.
And I don't know if you even know this, but you guys are like 18-point underdogs, which is pretty big in the NFL. Does that add anything to the? I know you guys are always looking for some type of motivation. Does that make that list?
Um, 18 point dog, man. We don't really look at that for real, but it's another team, another opportunity to go out there for a win. We're gonna fight to get that.
Thanks.
All right, last one from Mary Kay.
Yeah, Jerry, last week again, after the game, you mentioned that you wish you could have made more plays for DTR. So now he might get another chance to play in this game. What have you seen in him? What do you hope to be able to do for him in this game?
Um, you know, I seen the more he played, the more confident he get. So I just want to be able to make every catch that comes my way, every catch that he throws to me. That's the biggest goal for real. Just make everything easier for the quarterback for real. Just make my plays when it comes to me.
Hey Rod, just a few days before the last game here, just what are your emotions and feelings heading into this one?
Honestly, for me, just staying present, just living in the moment, to be honest, taking things one day at a time, and really just uh, cherishing every single day that I have left. So it's hard for me to look ahead, but just looking forward to and preparing one last week with my guys in order to walk away with a victory. I think that's what's most important to me right now is figuring out a way to win.
Thanks.
All right, next we'll go to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Rodney, in relation to Miles saying a couple Fridays ago that he would like for the Browns to show him kind of a winning, contending blueprint for him to want to be back. If you were the person that were in charge of kind of laying out that blueprint for him, what are some things that you see on this football team? You've been around a long time, you've played on some great teams. What do you see on this football team would you put on that list to show Miles that he ought to be back here next year?
Well, good thing is I'm not those guys that make those decisions. So, I don't necessarily have to do that. My job is to show up every single day and help lead this team accordingly, and put forth the right amount of effort to try to prepare to win every game possible. I think for Miles, of course, he's been around here for a very long time. He's a future Hall of Famer. He is a Brown and really symbolizes everything that the city embodies, through his work ethic, the way he shows up. And so I know he's had some tough years, and he's a winner. And I think we all want to win. So again, I'm not at liberty to decide on what he wants. But I'm sure for him, he just wants to, again, what he said, he wants to win and he wants to feel comfortable and having that reassurance. So whatever that looks like for him, I'm sure they'll deliver and make sure that he's pleased and he stays here.
Do you see good things ahead for this defense, though?
I do. I do. I think it starts with the character of every man, and I think despite the outcome that we've had this year, being on the losing side, you've seen great fight from start to finish effort, guys showing up every single day, enjoying one another, celebrating each other. And so that is the making of something special that you can walk away from and say, we have the right character, guys. We haven't lost our identity, our ways, despite the losses, and you can move forward into next year with that.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jeff.
Hey, Rodney, what do you think you will miss most about being an NFL player when your career does end here on Saturday?
I think the locker room, the players. You know, you always can just revert back to a moment that you shared with guys that you've had the pleasure of sharing the locker room with, and I think for a lot of my fellow OGs, that's what they say they miss the most, and I think it'll hold true for me. Just those locker room moments, the things that people don't see, I think is what I'll cherish the most and hold close to my heart.
Thank you.
Go to Cam.
Hey, Rodney, I know that this is not something that happens just because it's your last game, that it's something you've been doing over the past 2 years. But as a vet heading out of your NFL career, what are some words of wisdom that you might be leaving with some of the guys on the team, especially some of these young guys who have had these opportunities kind of thrust upon them this year?
Just for me, it's always being ready for your moment, and seize the moments that are presented to you. I think I am a perfect example of that. Coming in undrafted and not necessarily knowing if tomorrow existed for me, and just putting it all on the line, but then presented with a moment for me to showcase my abilities and show my worth. And I took full advantage of that. So that's really my message to everyone. And honestly, just always have that chip on your shoulder. It's a tough league, it's a tough business, knowing that, man, every single year people want your seat, and you gotta earn it, you gotta keep it. And so you gotta have that mindset. You reinvent yourself every single year that you step foot in inside these doors, and because it's a humbling league. So those are just some words of wisdom, and that I can leave with a few guys.
Thank you.
Next, go to Tony.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, Rodney, congratulations on your career.
Appreciate it.
What do you think the biggest differences are between this year's defense and last year's defense?
I mean, that's hard to say. I think what we have pointed out over the weeks, over the course of the year, is that we play pretty stout throughout majority of the game, but I think where we have missed the mark this year is just a few lapses that we didn't have last year, and that's varied. It's been a kind of a combination of a lot of things, but those plays have really stood out and impacted our play, and ultimately have kind of resulted in a difference between wins and losses for us. So I would say just that inconsistency a little bit is what I have identified, I think, as to why we've had some setbacks in a few areas that we would love, man, to have back, of course. But yeah, that's what I would know.
And do you intend to pursue a second career in media?
We'll see. It's a possibility. Doing certain things outside of the game to put myself in position, but we'll see if the other side of the camera is for me.
The other side.
The other side.
Next, I'll go to Dan.
Hey, Rod, kind of along those lines, I did want to ask if you kind of knew what was next for you. And I was just curious if there were any like guys that you've leaned on to sort of help you in that post-football transition, because I know sometimes that can be a little bit difficult for guys.
Yeah, there are no like necessarily set plans. I think for myself, just gonna enjoy uh freedom. I think we'll put it that way. Having my time back and being a full-time husband, dad, uh, son, brother, all those things that I've kind of missed out on. I think I'm just gonna enjoy being a regular person for a little bit, and we'll see. But there's plenty that I do outside the sport already that'll keep me busy. I'm alone, and then I've had several conversations with guys who've now entered into that next act. One guy in particular, Malcolm Jenkins, guy I had a pleasure of being right beside in the locker room, winning a ton of games, and now he's, made that transition. So he's somebody that, I talk to very often about, his walk and some of his difficulties and also what he's doing and what's his wins. So yeah.
Is there a particular piece of advice you can share with us that he's given you, just out of curiosity?
I think one thing a lot of us, or yeah, a lot of retired players struggle with schedule. You've been kind of handed a script and a schedule for so long, and you got into this routine and how your years flow and how the season operates that, now when you have a full calendar year to like operate out of, you tend to struggle. So, for him, he's just put a lot of things in perspective. For me, whether he's now made his norm kind of identical to what a football schedule looked like for him. But now, of course, you're not necessarily on the practice field, but there's a way to still have like um, that that correlation there in a way. So that was very helpful for me. Just sticking to what and really just rearranging a few things that now align with whatever it is that you're doing. Now.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So go to Scott.
Hey, Rodney, so just how new a dad are you?
You said what?
Kevin said you're a new dad. Just how
Yeah,
new?
baby girl. Yeah, 7 months.
Okay.
7 months in. Yeah, so I'm getting the hang of it. Of fatherhood, enjoying it, loving every minute. Definitely lost some hours of sleep, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And I know you said you're focused on this week, but have you thought about what the emotions are going to be like Sunday when it's over, or even during the game?
I don't. It was just gonna let things just take its course, and we'll see how it all unfolds.
Gotcha. Thanks.
All right, last one from Ashley. Make it quick.
Just one more kind of reflecting question, Rod. So, I know you've spent so much of your career with Jim and playing for him. So, just what has it meant for you to be able to come back these last couple of years and get 2 more years in his system and with him as your coordinator?
It's been special. When you have the luxury of being around a man like Jim, who's a great leader, who's a winner. Those opportunities don't come back around very often. And so, my stint there in Philly, we won a ton of games, of course, the Super Bowl. And when it was presented for me to have that reconnection again with Jim, it was a no-brainer. And he's what I love most about him. He's consistent. You know exactly who you're going to get every single day, and he allows us to be us. And he really is invested in his guys, and it shows. So I'm forever grateful for everything that he's taught me, that I've been able to add to my game, because he's a high football IQ, so there's a lot to learn. And I enjoy all of his stories that he tells too. He has a countless amount, probably heard almost every version at this point, but they never get old, never get tired of it. And man, much respect for Jim.